Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 125 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Welcome, Siân. How are you?
Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
I'm all right. How are you?
I didn't ask, but yeah, okay.
Oh, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Well, rude.
Oh, I might have asked. I don't know.
Rude.
I went into intro mode.
Okay.
I don't know what I asked you, but yeah, how are you? You are okay? Yes.
Are you okay?
Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Weirdest intro we've done for ages. I think that is. Yeah, I'm not doing a back update this week because I'm sick of it. Loads of people. I mean, it's really nice. They've been asking how I'm doing, and is it better? And I do really appreciate people asking, but I am sort of a little bit fed up with it now.
Not with people asking.
Not with people asking.
Just the bad back.
Just with the back. It's quite depressing, to be honest.
So you said that you weren't going to give an update, but you pretty much have just said you've just given an update.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's just makes you a bit fed up, I think, and it's nice doing stuff like this because you don't have to think about it for a bit. We walked quite a long way on Saturday because I've got to start. I can't just sit down. I can't just stand up. I can't do too much walking, but I've got
to standing.
Yeah, too much of anything really. But I've got to start doing little bit of exercise, moving about, all that sort of stuff. So we walked on Saturday, and my Apple Watch went a bit nuts. Sort of like, what's
happening?
This is
you haven't moved for 2 weeks.
Unusual activity, I think it called it. Yeah, because I was walking so much. But anyway, look, on this week's show, we're going to have a quick chat about the EFL trophy draw. That was done last Friday. A League One match with Exeter. We'll have a chat about that. Look ahead to our game against Lincoln. Obviously, we've got the quiz. We'll talk a little bit about Ryan Barnett again. Yeah, it's a good show. Decent show, I reckon. Well, I say that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I will let you decide on that. So, look, EFL trophy draw. So last Friday, the sponsors changed. So it's bye Bristol Street Motors and hello
So
Virtue.
they've rebranded. I've had a few, because obviously I shared the post that EFL put on their Twitter or X. And somebody said it is Bristol Street Motors though. It is still Bristol Street Motors, but they've just rebranded. And I said, yeah, I get that, but I was just sharing a post.
So because we were talking about this, it sort of still is. So they haven't got halfway through the competition and completely changed the sponsor. Basically, there's a few different companies. There's Virtue, there's who are now the sponsors, Bristol Street Motors and somebody else. And the company have taken the decision to sort of
amalgamate.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. All three of the companies and call them all Virtue.
Makes sense.
So it is technically the same company, but there's just a bit of a name change because they've decided to all adopt this one.
To be fair,
name,
Bristol Street Motors Trophy was a bit of a mouthful. Virtue Trophy sounds easier.
It is a bit easier,
and
isn't it? Yeah,
it's more succinct and I like it.
Yeah, so the second round draw took place on Friday. We, because we won the group, we did explain this. We talked about the Port Vale game being a bit of a dead rubber, which it sort of was because both teams had already qualified for the knockout stages. Although it did matter to a degree because as long as we didn't lose, we would top the group. And topping the group meant we got a home tie in the next round. So we've been drawn against Crewe, obviously, local rivals just down the road. We've seemed to do quite well against Crewe in last season. Happy with that. Ties take place on week commencing the 9th of December.
Okay.
So this is the part of the competition that we went out last season, isn't it? Because we lost to
Huddersfield, was it?
Burton.
Oh, that was it.
Burton Albion we lost to last season, yeah. So week commencing the 9th, that's when that will take place. So we'll have a bit more of a chat about that a little bit closer to the time, I suppose. Look, on to the news. We've got to start with Ryan Barnett because I think it's probably the main news of the week.
Yeah.
So he has signed a new contract extension until 2027. Obviously, we talked literally last week, was it? About rumours about Rangers being interested in him.
In your face, Rangers.
Yeah, and then just completely out of the blue after that, he signed a contract extension.
I think the club needs to do something. You know, whether the rumours were true or, I mean, obviously the club will know more than people that are not associated with the club. I think it was I think you could say it was like a statement of like, Ryan Barnett's happy where he is.
Yeah.
We've got him in till 2027.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a big statement that they've done this.
Yeah, I think one thing to bear in mind there, though, is in football, and it might not be something, we haven't really sold players since you've been sort of following the club and you know, all that sort of stuff. We haven't really sold anyone. This is quite common in football, and what it means, it doesn't mean he's staying. What it means is if he does end up going, we get a better price for him. So this is.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody has only got, let's say for example, a player has only got 6 months left on their contract or 12 months left on their contract. If you compare that to a player that's got 2-3 years left on their contract, clubs wouldn't expect to pay as much for somebody who's got a short amount of time left on their contract as opposed to somebody who's got longer left on their contract. So on the face of it, it's great. And, you know, he's happy, he's committed his future to the club.
Happy, yeah.
But from the club's point of view, this is a little bit of safeguarding to make sure that if he does decide that he wants to go,
they can reclaim some.
Yes, it just guarantees you get the most amount of money that you can out of a deal because he is under contract for a long period of time. If somebody's only got 6 months left and it's a January transfer window, clubs will sort of go, it's all right, we'll wait 6 months. We'll get him in the summer for nothing because his contract's come to an end.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit of safeguarding from Wrexham's point of view.
Yeah.
But
good news, though.
On the face of it, he has committed his future.
Yes.
But like I say, it protects everyone, I think, a little bit.
Good, I'm glad.
Job security for him.
Yeah.
And
his salary's secure for another 2 years at least.
Yeah, 2.5, isn't it? And
I suppose.
But like I say, it's a bit of security for the club as well to make sure that if his head is turned by Rangers and he decides he wants to trot off up the road, then you know we can demand the maximum that we can.
But hopefully that won't happen.
No, I think it's great. I think, you know, a player like that you need to hold on to, you know, and I think he's very much at the age that he is, the performances he's putting in. I think somebody like that is the future of the club, you know, him and Max and people like that. Yeah. You know, they're the future of the club. So, yeah.
Moving on.
So we'd like to say congratulations to the Wrexham women's team on making it to the quarterfinals of the Bute Energy Welsh Cup after beating...
Avelin Helly.
Yeah, I can't say it. 10-0.
Yeah.
What a defeat that was for them.
Yeah, so they will face Swansea in the quarterfinals, which take place not until February, I think, the quarterfinals. A bit of a hefty gap in between that. But yeah, they're going to face Swansea. Difficult
Don't the women
game.
have a break?
They do. There is a little bit of a break.
Yeah, they have a break, don't they?
Yeah. Look, I wanted to... The reason I brought this up I did want to sort of discuss the women's team a little bit and just try and explain. I think we probably have explained a little bit in the past, but some people do ask, how come we don't talk about the women's team as, very much, or we don't mention them? It's very difficult because of our recording schedule to sort of talk about the women's team in the sense of they tend to play on a Sunday. We record on a Sunday morning. So we don't know how the women's team have got on when we record because the games are usually in the afternoon. And then by the time we come round to record the following week...
It's old news.
They're getting ready to play the next game.
Well, yeah, by the time the podcast comes out, they will have already played again, and we wouldn't have referenced it because we record before that game comes out. So it just makes it quite awkward for us. The men, that's easy. They play on the Saturday, we record Sunday morning, our podcast comes out on Monday. It's really easy to tie all that together. The women, it's a little bit more difficult.
Some people may say, why can't you just record later on in the day? It's because, obviously it's got to be edited. Not that there's much editing that's needed, because it's just basically one camera shot.
Yeah.
Also, we do have a son who, he kindly sits downstairs, bless him, looking after our dog whilst we're doing this. And also, we've got to sort stuff out for like the following week for like work and school and all that. So
we would love this to be our full-time job, and we'd love that we could record whenever we wanted, and we could get everything in. The men, the women. Whenever there is an opportunity for us to talk about the women's team, we will always do it. It just doesn't always fall quite right for us.
Maybe what we could do is talk about the women's next game. So if we record on a Sunday, their following game will be on a Sunday. Possibly, I don't know. We'll try and think of something, but in regards to not talking about them as much, it's not something that we've
chosen.
Well, we kind of have chosen because of the way we record. But obviously, the men's team play on a Saturday. We have to record on a Sunday. Podcast comes out on a Monday. So it's a bit difficult, but.
Yeah, if anyone can come up with a solution for us, that'd be great. That doesn't involve recording at a different time, because this is pretty much the only time that we can record. Yeah. There we go.
Anyway, so Monday just gone.
Yeah.
No.
Last week.
Yeah. A week ago today.
Yeah.
They opened up the doors for the pop-up Wrexham shop.
Yes.
I think they opened at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they announced the first 15 people that were through the doors would get a goodie bag. I'd be really interested to see what was in the goodie bag.
Yeah, if anyone got one, anyone went down and got one, then obviously we talked about the shop last week.
We did.
By the time after we'd recorded,
they announced what time it was opening.
All the information sort of came out, and it was sort of like we'd already recorded by then. But it is just going to be for Christmas.
That's what they've said. The festive period. I'm assuming it's just to. I think what the shop actually has a lot of sale stuff in there. Like there's certain items that you can buy for £10 or £15 or whatever. So I think maybe they want to concentrate in the club shop that's in the ground, the newer stuff, the long sleeved shirts. Oh my god, and all that. But it would make sense for them to have that sort of stuff in the one on the Eagles Meadow as well, because like we discussed last week, it is very difficult to get to the club now unless you're going to a game. Yeah. And even then it's a nightmare because you've got people queuing out the door. So the club shop's a great idea in Eagles Meadow. We haven't been there yet, but we are hopefully going to go there at some point next week.
I don't really leave the house at the moment.
So it's a bit difficult, but we'll let you know what it's like.
Yeah. Look, quick one. Wrexham 11 played in New York last week against Team Kick for Life, which is really good. I saw a couple of posts about that. It's great. It's part of an initiative that we've got. I'm going to read out a statement now. So Kick for Life is part of the. It's the charity that uses sport to assist young people. This is out in Lesotho. I don't know how to say it really. Lesotho. I think it is.
I don't know.
Anyway, Wrexham AFC are proud to announce the Wrexham AFC Foundation, the new name of the club's community organisation. The Wrexham AFC Foundation will continue to strive to change the lives of children and young people across Wrexham, North Wales and beyond, serving as one of 3 strands of the club's community operation. In 2024, nearly 8,000 children live in poverty in Wrexham. But through our targeted programmes, we aim to continue the club's founding principle of providing opportunities through football. The foundation aims to positively change children and young people's lives using the power of football and Wrexham AFC. We want to improve health, support learning, provide equal opportunities and strengthen communities.
That's a massive number, that, isn't it? 8,000 children.
It is a lot. It shocked me when I read it, to be honest, but we have had a community arm of the club. It's just sort of been rebranded a little bit, and it's now known as Wrexham AFC Foundation. Yeah. So obviously part of this was the game that the Wrexham 11 played in New York against the Kick for Life. So we have fingers in pies, not just in Lesotho, that sort of charity, but Wrexham community and local as well, yeah. And sort of elsewhere. So it's really good that we're doing stuff like this.
I do like the fact that this charity, would you call it a foundation?
Yeah.
This foundation does focus on children that are in Wrexham.
Yes.
First and foremost, because I think with a lot of foundations and charities and stuff like that, they kind of aim for things that are not in our country and stuff like that, and people in this country suffer. So it's really good that the children of Wrexham.
Yes, I think it's good that you're doing that. You encompass everything.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. It's important that we're a Wrexham football club, so it's important to focus on Wrexham, but with the right wide-ranging appeal that we now have, it's also important not to be selfish with that, and to shine a light on lots of other sort of causes around the world.
That was what I was trying to say.
Okay.
But it's just good that Wrexham are, in the forefront.
Yes. Look, if you would like to support the show, you can buy us a coffee. Our page is buymeacoffee.com/me-the-wife. Look, quick fancy EFL update. First at the moment is Ben Parker. Second is Ian Dougal. And let's move on.
Come on!
Third is Christian. Well done, Christian. Christian sent me a message this morning, and when you get a message coming through, and you can see like the first sentence of that message, and I saw the notification come through. I'm gonna admit this now. I haven't read it. Because it was sort of
will read it and he will reply to you, Christian.
Maybe.
Yes, he will. Because
sounded like you were sort of like you were badgering me.
No, he was giving you encouragement to pull your finger out. That's what he was doing.
I'm only joking.
Or am I right? He will reply to you.
I will.
Anyway, let's move on to the Exeter game that we played on Saturday at the Stoke Kairat. The weather was pretty grim, to be fair. It was pretty grim. It wasn't cold, so it was all right. But I'd rather it be freezing and not raining. But so it rained as we were walking to the race course. Obviously, Ryan came with us on Saturday, because I think it's really important. He is unfortunately off work at the moment because he can't do anything. But I think for his mental health, I think it's really important that he doesn't just stay in the house. So I'm trying to encourage him. So I think he was a bit like, I don't know whether I'm going to go, whether I'm going to stay at home, and you just go with Alfie. But I put my foot down and I told him that he was coming because I'm worried about his mental health. And we do talk about Dragon Chat and stuff like that, and how important football is. How important it is for people's mental health. So I just wanted to get that out there. I made Ryan come to the football yesterday.
Look, I wasn't completely comfortable being there. I was in a little bit of pain.
You were. You kept getting up and down.
During the day.
Although Lawrence did say to you, the steward, our favourite steward, obviously, did say to you that, you know, if you are struggling, the first aiders were there to help. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a struggle. I am glad that I made the effort to go. It was a bit of a strange one, though, because it was a bit half and half, because I was glad I'd made the effort to get there, but at the same time, there was parts of the game where I wish I was sat at home.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a weird one. Like we say, the weather was miserable as well.
That probably affected it. Well, I'd say that. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me in regards to the atmosphere and stuff like that. I still enjoy the game. You just have to dress accordingly, don't you?
I tell you what, it did affect though. The weather.
The temporary stand.
The temporary stand.
Oh, God, there's been so much hoo-ha about the temporary stand and people having a go at the fans for selling their ticket and stuff like that. And it's what we have to understand is we do not know, unless you know that person directly, you do not know what's going on in their life.
Sorry, did I move your chair there?
Did a little bit. You do not know what's going on in their life. So I think it's really important. You know, we're all Wrexham fans at the end of the day. And I think it's important that we remember that, and, you know, having a go at somebody for selling their ticket because they don't want to sit in the temporary stand because it is freezing, it is raining. They may be like, somebody who's a vulnerable person who, you know, if they catch a cold, it could be really detrimental to their health. You just don't know. And sorry, I'm getting on my high horse here because I hate people having a go at people on social media. It's so easy to have a go at somebody when you're behind your keyboard. But we don't understand, people don't know what's going on in everybody's life. So I just think, you know.
Anyway,
I'm going to get off my high horse now.
Let's wind you down for a second. It was quite sad to see, though, I thought, looking over at that temp stand. And it looked half empty. It
was mainly the middle part, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure which end or which bit is the fan zone anymore.
Middle.
It's definitely in the middle.
Yeah.
So is it because of the weather, or is it because of the extra £10? I mean,
I don't think the extra money matters because it's been full when it hasn't been raining. So,
but because it's raining, people don't want to pay that extra £10.
Or they just. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is.
The club did say that those who are in the fan zone for the Exeter game, that they would have like a free drink voucher. And I saw on Twitter that somebody said, you can offer me 12 free drinks, I still wouldn't sit out in the rain.
That's...
Do you think it's time that they invested in a roof?
What a question. No, I don't think so. I don't know how... I mean, yeah, okay, but...
We get wet and we've got a roof.
Yeah, I know. The issue I've got here is... when are they going to start building? When are they going to start building the actual permanent cop?
End of this season, I reckon.
That's the question that they obviously have a rough idea of that, and they've got a rough idea where the planning is and what's going on. Now the issue is there: how much money do you keep pumping into this temporary stand? You've got a temporary stand, then you increase the capacity of the temporary stand. Now you're asking, do we put a roof on the temporary stand?
Have they already increased it? I know they've increased it once, but have they increased it again?
Yes.
Have they?
Yeah, so at what point...
Just stop.
Do we go... Yeah, all right. And people go, well, hang on, no, just put a roof on it and then you fill it and then maybe it pays for itself. But... I don't know really. I don't want to get too bogged down in the.
They were losing money anyway in the temporary stand. Yeah, it was purely just to allow Wrexham fans to get. The reason why it was put there was to allow more Wrexham fans, because people were complaining they couldn't get tickets. So they built the stand so that more people could get tickets. So I think the frustration from other fans is, well, we all moaned about not having, enough seats for, not enough tickets, and now we have, and we're not selling. It is what it is. Anyway, so so the lineup came through at 2:00 like it usually does, and you'd gone to get a ticket for the car, and you came back and you went, well, this is a weird lineup, and I was like, oh, well, who's there? And you were like, Matty James, Lewis Brunt, all the people that you don't usually see in the starting 11, and it was like, oh,
it was that wasn't really what shocked me. What Brunt maybe shocked me a little bit. I didn't expect Lewis Brunt to start. Matty James, I get that. I expected him to start. I think the shock for me was sort of looking at that team and going, well, we only got one striker there. And I think that's what confused me. Mullin on the bench. And then it was very much, so is Elliot Lee playing up front? Is Elliot Lee playing where he normally plays? Oh, is James McLean in midfield? Is James McLean up front? And then you go, well, there's no other left back there. So James McLean's obviously still playing on the left. And as it turned out, it was quite a fluid formation. So it wasn't necessarily two up front like we normally do, where it was like Palmer and Lee up front. It was sort of Lee very much dropped into his usual sort of position behind where he would normally play, behind the strikers. But then he was getting forward more than he normally would to make up that second man up front. But it wasn't really two up front. You couldn't write it as two up front like we normally play, like you'd have Mullin and Palmer, or, you know, Palmer and Marriott when he was fit. You know, it wasn't that sort of formation. It was a little bit more fluid than that.
I liked it though.
Yeah,
I thought it worked. I really did think. I was a bit unsure why Dan Scarr wasn't in the starting 11.
Yeah, he dropped to the bench.
But I really liked it. I thought they did as a collective. I just thought it was a really good decision from Parky. I thought I liked it. I loved it.
Yeah, it did.
It worked. I don't know what else to say. It bloody worked.
It did. It was sort of like, I think it was sort of the setup was sort of like a 3-5-1-1, I think, as opposed to a 3-5-2 that we would normally play. It was, you know, like I say, it was quite fluid. You know, we seemed to move the ball around quite well.
I thought Lee did really well in the position that he... And I know it's like generally that is his position.
Yeah, but
the fact that he was forced to go a bit more forward, like you said...
Yeah.
I think I don't know, I have to say... and I don't know whether you agree with me, I do have to say that I think this is one of Elliot Lee's better performances than previous in this season.
Recently?
Yes.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I thought he was better. Like you said, first league starts for Matty James and also Lewis Brunt. So Lewis Brunt, let's talk about him first a little bit. He came in to replace Tom O'Connor.
That was a bit of a weird one for me.
Yeah, but feeling it during the game?
No,
or just
when I read
when
it,
you saw it
when
come
I
out?
saw it, I thought, why is he replacing Tom O'Connor with Lewis Brunt? You know, Lewis hasn't really had many minutes on the pitch. Tom O'Connor has, but again, it worked.
I thought he was excellent. If I'm honest, I tell you what I struggle with sometimes. Now, Tom O'Connor as a left-sided central defender. Now, he hasn't grown up as a defender. He didn't start his professional career as a defender. He was very much a midfielder. We bought him as a midfielder.
Yeah.
So he's been sort of pushed into that position. He does well most of the time.
He does.
He's in there for his dead balls, so corners, free kicks, very good, all that sort of stuff. He's very good at that. He's in there to help us play out from the back because he's very good with the ball at his feet. He can move it into midfield well. He can pick a pass. He sees the play a lot better than someone like, no offence, but like Will Boyle, for example, who also plays on the left side of the three at the back. Better with the ball at his feet than somebody like that. Where I feel that Tom O'Connor falls down is he's just not a defender for me. There are times when teams go at him and he gets found out a little bit. In my opinion, people might disagree with that. In my opinion...
You're entitled to your own opinion, my darling.
Thank you. And for me, he gets found out.
Yeah.
You know, with players who decide to go at him. And I have noticed teams who have specifically targeted Tom O'Connor because of this reason. And it just doesn't always work for me. Yeah. Look, I am not dissing him. He does a job. Most of the time, he plays really well.
He does.
Now, when Lewis Brunt came in on Saturday, Lewis Brunt can play out from the back. Lewis Brunt is very comfortable with the ball at his feet.
Yep.
He was marauding forward like some wild buffalo at times.
He was.
And he was, he's not afraid to bring that ball forward.
Yep.
But the thing for me with him is he is more what I would consider a defender to be. So I would not be surprised if we started to see a little bit of a transition where Lewis might start playing a bit more than Tom O'Connor does. Look, I love everyone's opinion, but my opinion is I would like to see more of a defender in there, and Lewis Brunt for me fits that mold as a defender, and I think it would be the right choice. I do think we would miss certain elements of Tom O'Connor if we were to swap it out. And it's a difficult one, but it's options again, isn't it?
It's a good problem to have. I couldn't think of the saying there.
It is. Matty James as well.
Thought he did well.
Yeah, nothing spectacular.
No.
Sort of what I expected. Very cool on the ball. Sort of took the ball in. Good vision, good range of passing. Like I say, he didn't really do anything spectacular.
No.
But I'm not sure him as a player, he is really the spectacular type. You know what I mean? Very much like a George Evans sort of player. Doesn't really do anything spectacular, but does the simple things really well. So yeah, I'm happy. Would I want him in there all the time? Probably not.
No.
I'd probably rather sort of Andy Cannon in there.
100%.
I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or Ollie Ruthbone.
Ruthbone.
Yeah,
but for me, Lewis Brunt was right up there. We'll talk about man of the match in a bit, but I thought Lewis Brunt was right up there. I don't think he was man of the match. It's not who I voted for.
No, he wasn't man of the match.
I know he wasn't.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I think he was right up there. I thought he had...
He was a contender.
Definitely a contender, yeah. Definitely a bit of a Rocky moment.
Yeah, that was my Rocky moment.
But I thought he was excellent. And if I was Tom O'Connor watching that game,
I'd be worried.
I'd be sitting back thinking, I can see all the things that he can do that maybe I can't very well. But Tom O'Connor would be sitting there going, I think there's certain stuff I can do that I'm not sure he can very well. So it's it's option. Like you said, Scar dropped to the bench. Owen O'Connell in. That's the sub that we saw against Stockport. Scar started that game. And then Parky switched it and brought O'Connell on. When he made the few subs, we did look better last Saturday. Decided to stick with O'Connell this week. Scar dropped to the bench, as we say. I'm happy with either, to be honest. I think it's one of them where...
Depends what you want from the game, though. Because we've discussed before, like, Scar is more, in the air. Very good.
Brute.
In the air.
Yeah, a bit of a brute. Yeah.
But O'Connell is more foot-focused.
Foot-focused.
So it depends what you want from a game or how a game is going or what your opponents are kind of... Like, Exeter were very hoofball-y.
No, I'm not. No, I think what... I don't think they were hoofballing.
Oh, they did a few hoofballs. They did do a few... I mean, towards the goal, they did quite a few hoofballs, to be honest.
Look, I think it was quite obvious early on. Look, we came out, we were bright. We looked up for it, which I was happy about because we talked about this before, about you need to get back to playing well.
Yeah.
And I think Parky'd gone, right, let's ball on the floor. Let's start playing it around. And I think O'Connell suits that.
Yes.
More than Dan Scar, like you were saying.
He's more foot-focused.
More foot-focused.
And Dan Scar is more air-focused.
Yes, okay. Or head-focused.
Or head-focused, yeah.
And I think we definitely set out that way. You know, against Stockport, it was the whole Parky, sort of hoofball. That was it, because we had two big men up front. Let's get it up there nice and quick, and let's try and play that. Didn't really work for us.
No.
Hence the result. But it was, it was really interesting Saturday, and yeah, I think there was a clear shift in sort of tactics. They sort of play. I think perhaps it was they'd done it because they play sort of like five in midfield, and they really try and pack the midfield, and they have two sort of more advanced midfielders, whereas we play Lee as sort of like a cam. They sort of have two with like a sort of like someone hold it. And I think Parky'd gone to try and flood that little midfield a little bit more with Rathbone, with Matty James, with George Dobson, and with Elliot Lee dropping back into that. And your wing-backs coming round as well. I think he'd set out to try and flood that midfield a little bit and try and shut them down, which for me worked really well. And I thought they could pass it about, and I thought, maybe they'll create a few things. For the game as a whole, I wasn't particularly worried at any point.
No.
If I'm honest, Max put us 1-0 up. 4th goal of the season.
I know, he's doing so well.
I think that's probably, just rewind a little bit, I think that's his 5th goal of the season in all competitions. 4th in the league. I think I'm right saying that.
Yeah.
He scored against Port Vale, didn't he?
He's just on fire at the moment, and when he scores, it just looks so effortless, and it was just.
I was wondering when he was going to start chipping in with goals, to be honest, because big lad, good in the air, and I think he just needed a little bit more direction, coaching wise, of how to get in the right areas at the right time.
That coaching's working,
and whatever's been done is clearly working now, and they are, it's paying dividends. Lee nearly made it 2-0, so great corner. I can't think it was McLean's corner. Lee, for a little man. Sorry, I shouldn't call him a little man, but for someone who's a little bit smaller than a lot of other people on the pitch, he doesn't have to get his head on a lot of stuff from corners and crosses. And he managed to wriggle free. Header was going in. Just instinct kicked in from Ollie Rathbone. And it was in front of him, and he just touched it in on the line, and he was standing in an offside position, so they flagged it for offside. Lee was fuming. He was absolutely fuming with Ollie for actually touching it, because it was going in, so it should have been 2-0. But yeah, I think if Ollie wouldn't have scored later on, there might have been a few words for the fact he sort of put it right and he scored, I think. I think it was one of them. 25 minutes. I did see a post from an Exeter fan who said that all we were was just hoofball and we were just pumping balls forward. Look, from certain games this season...
That is true.
I would find it hard to disagree with that comment.
Yep.
Saturday certainly was not that.
I think Exeter were more guilty of that than we were.
Yeah, I mean, we came... They'd come to the racecourse, and I saw loads of quotes going, they're not very good, they're rubbish, I don't know how they are in the league. I don't understand comments like that when we've just beat your team 3-0. We've beat your team 3-0 and you're saying we're rubbish.
We're higher than you in the league.
Well, forget that. What does that make you then? Because we've just absolutely hammered you.
It's jealousy, babe.
Oh, anyway, look, the second goal was a great goal. It came from Burton. I think it went out to McLean. It went into midfield. We put it out wide to Barney. Great cross from Barney. Palmer literally just walked onto it. He didn't need to break stride, anything. The cross was perfect, right on his head.
He broke his goalless drought.
12 games, I think it is, without him scoring, which I wasn't aware that was the case.
Considering how well he's been playing for the last few games, you'd think that he would have scored more, but
look,
he didn't.
He got a goal. Like I say, it's another assist for Barney. He's got more assists this season than he did in the whole of last season. And he just keeps getting better and better. And I think it was really a credit at that point to Parky and the way he'd set up. Because I think a few people looked a bit puzzled before the game, us included.
Yes.
What's going on? How are we setting up here? And it, like you said, it just worked perfectly. We made Exeter look ordinary.
Look like a National League team.
Okay, you're going to push them down there, are you?
No, maybe not.
Best defence in the league that they were prior. Yeah. They were prior to playing us, and we just picked them apart again and again. It felt like a day when it could have been 3, 4, 5. It just felt like one of them days.
Well,
didn't
it was like what's his face? Paul Mullen did a little, what do you call it? A bicycle kick.
Oh, you're jumping ahead to the end of the game.
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah.
Sorry. That was quite late on.
I'm just saying that it could have been with the fact
that... It could have been. It definitely could have been. Look, it was 2-0 at half-time. And, everything was working. I think Exeter came out better.
Yes.
In the second half.
They had to. To be fair, they had to. There's no other choice.
No, the first few attacks of the half was sort of them. But they didn't really seem to have any real end product. Best defence in the league, but I think there's only 3 teams that have scored less than them. So they're very good at sort of like defending, but I'm not sure they're great at scoring at the other end. I think they average less than a goal a game. That sort of showed on Saturday I'm not being, awful or horrible, but that definitely showed. I think they've scored the least amount of goals in the top 12 in League One. And like I say, there's 2 or 3 who've scored less than them. That sort of showed. We got to see Mullin 70 minutes in.
Yeah.
But at that point, I don't know. It's like you said, he had that sort of like little sort of like scissor kick, but tried something, and it went over the bar. But he tried it.
Maybe if it was at his feet, rather than doing a cycle kick or whatever you want to call it.
Cycle kick.
What's it called?
A bicycle kick.
Cycles, cycles.
A unicycle kick.
Yeah. I think that. So I'm just getting all relaxed here, putting my feet up. I think that. If he'd maybe had it at his feet rather than... I know obviously he did hit it with his feet, but, got in a position where he was standing up is what I mean.
But it was at chest height. What was he supposed to do? Do you know the thing I liked about it, though, is he did it. It went over. But when he got up, he had a big smile on his face. And he was having a bit of a joke with somebody about... that is what I wanted to see. That, for me...
better than scoring a goal.
When we were already 2-0 up and we were quite comfortable, to me, the fact that he had that big smile on his face was almost as important as him scoring. I think the goals will come.
Yeah.
But we've seen him score and not smile recently in the EFL Trophy. Yeah. So the fact that he tried something, it didn't come off, it went over the bar, but he had a big smile on his face and he was having a bit of a joke with somebody. I can't remember who it was. That felt quite important to me. Like he is getting some enjoyment from it now, and I think the goals will come. And I think it's just
when,
Tuesday. I think he just needs something to drop. Yeah. That's what he needs, and it's not really happening at the moment. But I'm sure it will
happen. It will happen.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. Rathbone made it 3-0.
He did.
Smallest man on the pitch, winning a header at corner.
Is he the smallest man though, or is Elliot Lee the smallest man?
He's smaller than Elliot Lee. I'm telling you.
Do you think?
I do. Yeah, he looks tiny to me. How as a team you allow somebody of his size to win a header at a corner? Not only win a header at a corner, but to score. Is baffling to me. And I watched Exeter managers talking at the end of the game, and he said they had identified our strengths
a couple of days before,
from crosses, from corners. Yeah. He played them VT of how we set up at corners, from crosses, where our strengths were, and we scored 3 goals from crosses. So I think it's one thing to know what our strengths are. Mm-hmm. Perhaps it's very much another thing to know how to stop it.
Yeah.
which is great. It was look, for me, it was great to see that response after the Stockport game. I thought that was really important. Rick O'Brien said, great team effort with some different faces. Good energy at home as always. Need that on the road. Hold the fort and get Arthur back in January. Playoffs are looking good. Yeah, they are really. Red Army, tempo in the first half was brilliant with plenty of space created. Ollie is simply disruptive up top. JB.
Go on, you read.
JB looked tight, great passing and control. Not rushed in the first half. Todd Cross played like a proper League One team. A lot less hoofball. Man of the match was Parky. Brilliant.
Merculago, really good, I thought. Just need to get more of that in on the road. Absolutely. I appreciate it's always hard to play away, but I really believe we have it in us to be that sharp. Totally agree with you. Captain Howdy, deliciously consummate. Miles better than at Stockport. Everyone pulling their weight. Extra pleased for little Ollie. L. Ollie.
Lollie.
Ollie Rathbone. And B. Ollie. Big Ollie.
It's Lollie and Bollie. What are you doing?
Oh, okay.
What are you doing? Lollie and Bollie.
Okay.
I love that.
Lollie and Bollie.
Lollie is obviously little Ollie.
Yeah.
Ollie Rathbone. Bollie. Big Ollie. That now, Captain Howdy. This Lee. It's Lee Baines, sorry. They're staying. That's staying. When we are talking about them moving forward,
Lollie and Bollie.
Ollie Rathbone is Lollie.
We need to get some teddies called Lollie and Bollie. Anyway,
if you like.
And Callum getting Super Callum Burton in goal. Yes, we heard that, didn't we? And we were
did.
I thought, why are they? What are they singing? And then I heard the word Burton. I was like, fair play to them.
He made a couple of good saves as well.
Yeah.
Decent saves. Look, saves that you would expect a keeper of his quality to make, but he still had to make them. And I thought he was excellent.
Superb afternoon of football in all. Missed your full-time review though. Yes, we are going to be starting those back up again. Obviously, with Ryan being out of action, I was trying to think of the short.
It's just too difficult. Me walking is hard enough at the moment without having to try and do a live. We could do it a little bit later on, but you sort of feel like it has to be after a full-time whistle because you sort of lose
the
a bit
momentum's
of
there.
A bit of the mood and everything straight after the game. We will start them again, but
because we do love doing them.
Yeah, we do love doing them, and they are coming back. A little bit of time. Bear with.
So predictions that we had from yesterday. Obviously, we did our prediction video, and I was 2-0. Ryan was 3-1. We were both pretty close. I thought I was in.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to win it in the end.
I jokingly was sort of cheering for Exeter to score so I could get my prediction.
And I kept telling him to shut up. Karen was 3-2. Todd was 2-1. John Wells was 2-0. Ben 3-0. Well done. Jay Lewis 2-1. Tim Yockey 2-1. Leanne 4-1 and Douglas 0-0. Don't know why I did it like that.
No, mate, never call it 0-0 ever again. Man of the match obviously was Ollie Rathbone. Voted for by the fans once again. Yeah, which we both went for Ollie Rathbone.
100. I think I'm like said I'm going for Ollie Rathbone. Go for Ollie Rathbone.
No, I'd already picked him. So yeah,
I was happy.
Senor Honez.
Super Honeys.
I don't know, yeah. Very reminiscent of hard grafting, non-stop shifts Ruthers used to put in back in the day. Admittedly, Ollie's a bit more effective, but Ruthers never ever gave up. True, Paul Rutherford, that refers to.
Is he the one that got sent off in the last game?
Yes, so yeah, you do know who he is.
I know who he is. Is he Ginger?
He's not, no.
Oh, I'm thinking of Paul Scholes.
It's definitely not Paul Scholes. He was. So yeah, you will know him from. First series, first episode of the first series of Welcome to Wrexham.
He was the reason why we didn't win that game.
No, I'm not sure about that, but we can't put it all on him. Look, I just wanted to mention Callum Burton's tweet as well. He put a tweet out saying, home debut, 3 points and a clean sheet. Always enjoy beating the bin juice of Devon as well. Anyone who didn't quite understand that tweet, he used to play for Plymouth, who are also in Devon, and obviously Exeter in Devon. So, look, Birmingham lost on Saturday. They lost 3-2 to Shrewsbury.
Shocking.
Wycombe won again. 3-2 away to Lincoln. Stockport won 3-0 at Burton. Another 2 goals for Louis Barry. Huddersfield beat Barnsley 2-1. And they beat someone. Because I put Barnsley. No, Barnsley lost 1-0 home to Wigan. Sorry, I don't know what I've done there. We move up to second, 4 points behind Wycombe, but Wycombe have also got a game in hand over us.
Yeah, and Stockport's got 2.
Yeah, so let's move on.
Let's move on.
Look, anyone wants to get in touch with us, you can on Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or email us at me.thewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
So Tuesday, we have got our next home game.
I know,
which is against Lincoln City, which is on Tuesday, the 26th of November. Kickoff is at 7:45. Like I said, it's home at the Stoke High Ras. So Lincoln play in red and white. No, they've got red and white sleeves. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their away shirt is white with a black sash. I don't know. I quite like this.
I hate the sash.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, and their third kit is the third shirt is black. So we'll obviously be playing in red. So they definitely won't be playing in their home kit.
I think they have a full blackout kit as their third kit. So I mean, completely black shirt, black sponsor, black badge, everything. It's brilliant. Talking about shirts. I didn't mention it, but the reason do you want to know why I've wore this shirt this week? So I'm wearing the 150th anniversary shirt from 10 years ago. The reason I'm wearing it is because I've had quite a bit of time off work and I'm not able to, my mobility's quite poor. I've put on a bit of weight. And this is the biggest shirt that I've got. And this one fits quite comfortably.
You haven't put on loads of weight.
I put on a little bit. And all I'm saying is the new shirts...
Won't stop him drinking beer, though.
No, the new shirts are a little bit tight. So I thought I'd throw on one of the older ones. A little bit more room in them. That's all I
can't believe you just admitted that. Anyway, so the nickname of them is the Imps. They've got like a little, I suppose it's like a gargoyle impy type thing, isn't it?
Do you know the story?
It's something to do with being on a church to...
Yes, I think I explained it when we were doing our pre-season stuff.
You did.
There's a story about the Lincoln Imp, which ultimately is a gargoyle on the side of the church. If you want to read more about that, just Google the Lincoln Imp, but we're not going to go into it now.
The last game that we played against them was a 1-0 defeat away on the 29th of November 2016. And the last game at the racecourse was a 2-1 defeat in October 2016 in the National League.
Yeah, Lincoln got promoted that season on 99 points.
Not bad.
We finished 11th that season.
That's very good.
There we go. They lost 3-2 at home to Wycombe on Saturday.
Well, that's only like a minor loss, isn't it? 3-2, not bad.
You don't want to be conceding 3 at home, though, do you? That's not great. They're 7th on 26 points. They've won 7, drawn 5, lost 4. Top scorer this season is Ben House. It's a weird name, that, isn't it? Predictions, what are you going for?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go for... Do you know what? I'm going to go 3-0.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to keep on the momentum.
I'm going to go for 2-0.
Oh, we're swapping over, are we?
Yeah.
That'll be easy for me to put it down on the table.
Yeah, there we go. Look, just to let everyone know, there is no game on Saturday. So this Saturday is FA Cup weekend. And obviously we got knocked out of the FA Cup by Harrogate. So we don't have a game this weekend. So completely free Saturday for everybody. Game Tuesday, obviously, as we've just discussed. Our next game after that will be the Tuesday after. So no game on Saturday. Gutted, but there we go. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat. Oh, before I do that, there was a guy outside the ground. I don't know if you saw him.
I did.
He was like...
It was actually quite like...
Yeah, it was like a suicide prevention sort of thing, and he was holding up a sign and saying if you want to come over for a chat or a hug.
Yeah, loved it.
I did want to come over and have a chat with you, but sort of got caught up in something else, and before I knew it, I was inside the ground and I forgot to come over. But yeah, kudos to you for doing that outside the ground. It was fantastic.
Steve Lloyd was doing it as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was rounding about as well. There was a picture of them both.
Oh, right.
But yeah,
okay.
I mean... that it's just, you know, that piece of cardboard, and he was just standing there with holding it. It was really quite like, I can't think of the word, but like it was just yeah, it was an amazing thing to do. So well done, guys.
Yeah. Look, Dragon Chat is a mental health peer support group. They run 2 Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. All the details of how to get on them Zoom calls are down in the description if you're watching us on YouTube. The best thing to do is follow Steve Lloyd on socials. On X, he is at DragonChatWXMFC. On Blue Sky, it is at dragonchat.bsky.social. So yeah, there we go. Right, avert your eyes while I get the quiz ready. How did you get on last week? You did pretty well, I think, didn't you, on the quiz last week?
Can't remember.
No.
Can I open my eyes?
Yeah, you can open your eyes. Yeah, sorry.
I was trying to be good then.
Yeah, you were good, yeah. Okay,
Thanks.
right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, question 1. Prior to Saturday's game, Exeter had the best defence in the league. But how many goals had they conceded? Was it prior to the game? Was it 7, 10, 12 or 14?
12.
It wasn't, it was 10. Bad start. Question 2. I can feel you sighing before I've even asked this question. Okay. I'm going to read the first little bit of the question. You're going to sigh. Okay? Ready? How much attention did you pay to the Exeter team on Saturday?
Oh my God.
Told you. One of their players had an animal sound in their name. Okay. Was it Ben Purrington, James Barker, David Croker, or Rory Bate? Do you want me to read them normally without the...
Yeah.
Okay, Ben Purrington, James Barker, David Croker, or Rory Bate?
First one.
The first one, Ben Purrington.
Yeah.
It was Ben Purrington.
Because you know why I know that? Because I remember you going, what's his name?
It wasn't him.
Oh, somebody else.
Yeah, someone else.
Oh, well, got it right anyway, don't care.
Yeah. Number 3. Wrexham striker out on loan Sam Dalby scored again on the weekend. He put Dundee United 1-0 up away to who?
Rangers.
It was Rangers, yes. Well done.
Thank you.
47,000 people he played in front of.
That must have been amazing for him, to be fair.
And to score, put his team 1-0 up at Ibrox. Yeah, he's doing really well at the moment. Well done.
Get him back!
Number 4. As we discussed, a Wrexham 11 played Team Kick for Life in New York. But who was Wrexham's captain for the game? It's all gone quiet, hasn't it?
I don't know.
Don't you?
What's his name?
I don't know.
Humphrey Kerr.
It was Humphrey Kerr.
I knew he was there.
Yeah.
I knew he was there.
It was Humphrey Kerr was captain, yeah. You're doing well after a bad start. You're doing. You got 3 out of 4 so far. So this is for 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And another, dare I say it, successful week. Number 5. Saturday's opponents, Lincoln, are obviously from the county of?
Lincolnshire.
Correct. That's not the question. Can you name the only other Lincolnshire EFL club? Is it Hull City, Peterborough United, Doncaster Rovers, or Grimsby Town?
Read them again, sorry.
Yes. Hull City, Peterborough United. Peterborough?
It's not, is it?
It's not, unfortunately.
Is it Hull?
It's not.
Okay, I wouldn't have got it then.
Want another crack? You're not having the point, but... Doncaster or Grimsby you got left?
Grimsby.
It is Grimsby,
yeah, because Grimsby's like right down there, isn't it?
No, it's not down there. It's over.
Oh, no, it's up.
It's over there.
Oh, I don't know. I'm rubbish at geography.
Yeah, I know. That's why I threw it in. I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Look, we are...
I'm laughing on the inside.
I think this has gone quite well, considering you can't see it on camera. But we keep going on about sort of like we're redoing things, and wheels are definitely in motion at the moment. We have obviously the furniture, as in the chairs that we currently use, the equipment that we currently use is in here, but then we've got new furniture piled in around us, new equipment. So this as we're very cramped in at the moment, and it's very tight in here.
Very tight.
But yeah, we're gonna next weekend, with us having a free week and no game, we're gonna start testing out the new equipment. We're working with a local business to help with rebranding and all that sort of stuff.
So exciting!
Look, it's lots of exciting stuff is coming. So yeah, we'll keep you posted. I think we're probably aiming for the start of the year, aren't we?
Yeah,
on that
I think start of the new year, 2025, with
new stuff.
New stuff, but not the content will obviously remain the same. We will stay as entertaining and brilliant as we are now.
Yeah, if you say so. Right, it is time for painkillers and a little nap. Thank you very much for tuning in again this week. Hopefully we all enjoy the game on Tuesday, and we will see you again next week.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.